Hi there, I'm Bridget O'Flaherty. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to show you some of the thread painting that I do on felted pieces. So it's a little bit different the way I approach the stabilizing and the stitching, and thought you might want to see that. Hang on. So as you can see, I'm on my little machine this time. This is my Janome, and it's a very basic sewing machine. It doesn't have anything too fancy going on with it. I have the feed dogs down. There's a little lever at the back here you can drop, and that drops your feed dogs down. And I have the free motion embroidery foot installed. I have my thread. I'm just using a Gutermann cotton thread, and then I have my little piece. So my little piece here is a little tree. I've already done some of the underlaying sketching on it, and you can see in here the white part is a stabilizer, and I have stabilizer on the back as well. So I go in and I stitch on top of that. The stabilizer helps the felt not stretch too much. And then this is a hand felted piece that I've done as was wet felting. So I'm going to go ahead and start stitching so you can see some of that work, and maybe I'll zoom in here and you can see it a little better on the stitching part. Okay. So I drop the feed dogs, or lower the foot down at the back so there's still tension on the thread, and then I start into my stitching. I'm just adding layers and layers as I go along to create more and more detail. Right now I'm adding some brown, so it's just giving a little bit of depth and texture. And I'm going to move in here and do the trunk on this. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and change threads now. I'm going to move into another layer of green. The more layers and shading that you're able to put into a piece, the more realistic it is able to get. And right now it's still just very sketchy, and drop my casing there. Right now it's very sketchy, and it will fill in and get more detail as I go along here. I'm going to move into a lighter green that you can see here. This is again a Gutermann thread that I use. This one is just a regular polyester thread. This is color 780. It is one of my go-to colors. I really like it for doing the different details in nature. I haven't been able to find it in the recycled content yet, and I haven't been able to find it in organic cottons yet. So I go back to my 780 because it's the best color that I can find for this, and I have it on hand. So that's my favorite green at this point. There's another one as well, and I'll show you it in a little bit. Anybody else have the same kind of problem with trying to do this threading of the needle? Oh, yeah, that's an automatic needle threader, and it does sometimes work, and sometimes it's a bit of a struggle. Okay, so now I'm just going to add another layer of the lighter green and start filling in some more detail here. So that's another little bit of a layer put into that. And you can see there, it's got a little more detail filled in and starting to look a little bit more like an actual pine tree. I'm going to add some more layers as we go along here. So I wanted to show you, I mentioned earlier that I had a favorite thread color, and that was 778. This is my other favorite color. It's 776, and it's the Gutermann, also all polyester. It's 100% polyester thread, and comes in different sizes of spools, but the 776, 780, and 793. That's my other one there, 793. Those are kind of my go-to colors when I'm doing grasses and trees and various other things. I also wanted to talk to you about my stabilizer that I use. So I use, on this one, this stuff I'm using Selkie, and it's a tearaway. And I just looked up the name. It's called Stippy. Little, I don't know, it's a little embarrassing. Anyway, I like that. It's a really good stabilizer. And I like the way it tears away really easily, but it holds firm. Gotta like it firm. Anyway, carry on, and I'm going to add some more layers onto this. This is adding a little bit of a darker green, and you're gonna see it start to take a little bit more shape here. And then we've got one more color to do in the black and try and tidy this trunk up, and then we're gonna be done. I'm gonna clip this thread because I don't like having those in the way. There we go. You can see there's a lot more detail into that tree now. I'm just going to add some black for that bottom section, and it's going to be done. Watch me fight with my needle threader again. They're great when they work, but when they don't work, they're fake. Oh, that one worked pretty smoothly. Okay. My end cap on there, and just fill in this bottom section now. There we go. It's all done. Thanks for joining me. Hi there, and welcome to Bridging the Gap. This is the portion where I talk to you about the textile industry, sustainability, environmental issues, and nature when I can. I'm going to talk to you today about the cutting mats, and everybody has a cutting mat. They're self-healing, they're wonderful tools. It's made a revolutionary change to the quilting industry when cutting mats and Olfa cutters and rulers came into the game, but they have an inherent issue with them. These cutting mats are made from polyurethane. Generally speaking, some of them are using recycled content, but most of them, the majority of cutting mats out there are polyurethane, and they are non-recyclable, and they're products that just end up having no end to them. They don't biodegrade, they don't break down unless they go into smaller plastics, and then they become toxins for our waterways. These are forever products that don't actually have a waste stream that gives them a good end. And I had an issue with mine a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you can see on here the wave that happened here. This actually fell across my heater in my shop and started melting. It didn't catch fire, thankfully, no issues there. But the stink and the smell that came off of it, the off-gassing, was really quite horrific. And now I have a fairly unusable mat. I'm going to cut it down and trim it down so I can use what's left that's good. But the rest of it is just garbage, and there's nowhere for it to go. Even though I may take it to the dump, it still doesn't go away. It's going to be stuck in that waste stream for thousands of years. I have no idea. We need to have another alternative. We need to have some way of changing our industry so that we have products that either biodegrade or are fully recyclable and have another use to them. I've got bugs flying around me here and birds flying around me. I'm sitting outside. It's lovely, but there's a little bit of ruckus going on from the blue jays right now. Anyway, so yeah, we need to have some kind of way of being accountable in our industry for the waste that we contribute to our world. I don't know what the answer is for the cutting mats, because they are a fantastic tool. And I would love to see natural products out there that are able to eventually biodegrade or have a recyclable content and or recyclable use to them, or a reuse for them as well. If you have any thoughts on this, any ideas, any products that you know about that I could use, that would be great. I'd love to know about that. Send it my way. Send me a message if you want, or comment in the post below and let me know what you think about this topic, and if you have any thoughts. So thanks for joining me on Sew With Me Sunday. Hope you enjoyed watching this little video on doing a little pine tree, and I will see you next time. You can join me on Facebook at EcoThreadArt and on Instagram. You can also go to my website, threadpaintedart.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter. I'll see you again soon. Bye.